TLO, what's poppin'? We are on Twitch. We are not live, man, but you can leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notification bells. Let's continue to grow the family from Chicago to the UK. Even though I'm in Miami nowadays, man, but you know, still the same vibes. We got Rose Kemp Extreme World. Rose Kemp on gangs, investigating gangs in Belize. Shout out to all my Belizean homies, man. I got a lot of them in Chicago. I got a lot of Belizean homies. Shout out to y'all, man. I'm finna show my respect right now, man. Let's get into it, man. I've had this over here for a long time. My boy Rose. If y'all got any requests on longer documentaries, please put them down in the comments to this video and put them with the link, man.
Come to Belize in Central America, an ex-British colony. It's only a small country, but it plays a significant part in the international multi-billion-dollar business
this one's
of cocaine
4K.
smuggling. 37% of all the cocaine smuggled into the United States of America comes through Belize. Its geographical position, its hundreds of miles of unpatrolled coastline and unguarded land borders makes this tiny country a perfect haven for drug traffickers. The global cocaine trade is worth $23 billion a year. Belize has become an essential part of the narcotics highway, from production in South America to consumption in North America. Belize's white sandy beaches and crystal clear waters attracts tourists from all over the world. But it's its labyrinth of mangroves and hundreds of islands that also attracts the drug smugglers. And the majority of cocaine that arrives in Belize comes by sea.
Unpatrolled sea, y'all just said
The
it.
Colombians use local gangs to get the cocaine through Belize to the Mexican cartels.
Honestly, YouTube, I see a lot of people finding these bricks of cocaine in the sea. I mean, in the ocean in Florida. And honestly, I just can't wait for my turn to find one. I'm not even gonna cap to you. I can't wait to find one, and I don't condone it. Just know I will not be turning it into the proper authority.
The gangs are rewarded for its safe transportation with drugs,
Allegedly. YouTube, this is all entertainment.
cash, and military weapons. Consequently, this small city is swamped with guns and drugs, and gangland murders are at a record level.
Of course. It's lawless over there.
This is Belize City, home to some 3,000 gangsters. Last year, there were over 100 gang-related murders. The US State Department recently described the situation here as critical. And with a population of just 69,000, it's the 6th most likely place on the planet for someone to die from a gunshot wound.
69,000? With 3,000 thug gangsters? And who knows how many people got guns? Of course they strapped. Oh.
For the second time in a week, police have made a major weapons seizure.
13 handguns, 32 rifles, 37 shotguns.
35 shots were fired.
Most of the weapons were confiscated in Belize City.
Belize is a city on the verge of anarchy. Attempting to keep a lid on the violence are the police. Working alongside them are the heavily...
It's hard to keep a lid on the violence when you're corrupt. When the government over there is crazily... The police, I don't know about the government, the police for sure.
armed Belize Defense Force. There are 23 gangs in this small city. Corporal Lonsworth of the anti-gang unit has agreed to take me on a tour.
I didn't even know they had gangs over there.
It's causing problems, yeah?
No.
You're less than 100 yards from the police station and you're already in a gang area.
Yeah,
Our neighbor,
What?
next door neighbor.
They don't care.
Kill Bloods, fuck you all.
Just over the weekend, we have about
got Bloods and Crips, huh?
5 separate shooting incidents. Just
5 shootings.
over this weekend on this very street.
So you look at the houses, they're mainly made out of wood. If a round hit one of those, it'd go straight through.
Penetrate right through. Goes on and hit whatever is inside.
So kids,
Kids,
civilians.
innocent people. But this is one of the real active neighborhoods involving a lot of shooting.
Shout out my boy Travis, man.
What kind of guns are these people using then?
AK-47s, AR-15s, M16, 9mm, explosives. We have 12 persons that was injured. One was killed by a hand grenade that was thrown through that
Hand
neighborhood.
grenade?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a grenade blast in the city last night. The deadly explosive device was used in a gang-related attack on a group of young men in the Mayflower Street area. One 16-year-old is dead. Another young man is critical, and 10 others, including a woman, were injured. It is a crime that has stunned the city.
Like, you really got to think about it. Like, where are they getting the grenade from? Who's providing grenades to street gangsters? What you would they homemade grenades? No.
Yeah, right here. He was standing somewhere over here. There's a guy rode up on a bicycle from over there and threw the grenade from there. It bounced on one of these wires and it dropped, and he kicked it. And as he kicked it, the grenade
Went off.
went off. Yeah. So he
tried to kick it away.
kick it away. He didn't know it was a grenade. In history, it was the first time that an explosive ever was thrown in a neighborhood that is so populated. And if you can see, the majority is
Children.
small kids.
And was there any retaliation? They know what neighborhood the grenade.
Yes, they did.
They knew who threw it.
They knew.
That's insane. I'm gonna hold you. A
These are
grenade.
incredibly poor areas, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know what you gotta do? You gotta do all that to throw a grenade. That's crazy. Nah.
Very poor.
Is there any kind of social welfare here for these people?
Nope. Nothing at all.
How do they put food in their stomachs then?
Selling marijuana, selling crack
Trapping?
cocaine. These guys are selling crack cocaine.
Are these boys here, yeah?
Yeah. These
There's no economic structure. I'm my bad. I'm trying to like take it all in and try not to pause, but like I have to.
guys, they call themselves the dog pound. They used to be one
Dog pound.
most notorious. Instead of using weapons, they used to bite you. Bite you in your throat, bite off your ears, bite you like dogs.
They'll bite you in the throat, rip your throat.
Bite off a ear,
Bite off your
bite off a piece of your
face.
jaw, yeah.
So we've just...
Say you swear to God. They called this the dog pound, and they used to bite your esophagus out your throat and bite your eyeballs.
Travelled 40 metres, maybe under that, and you've managed to point out 4 different murders that have occurred in the last 2 years.
It was just for this year.
This year?
This year.
There doesn't seem to be any area that hasn't got a gang.
That's true. That's the harsh reality behind it.
I've never been to anywhere like that.
That's good cap, Rose. Yeah, you have.
I'm in Belize, Central America. Over a third of the cocaine that's smuggled from Colombia into the USA passes through this small country. For the South American drug cartels, Belize is a refueling stop between South and North America. The local gangs that escort the drugs through Belize are paid with weapons and drugs. The boats
So they ain't even paid with money. They paid with weapons and drugs.
used to traffic the cocaine only represent a small fraction of their valuable cargo. And once their job is done, they're abandoned.
2 years ago, with the help of American money, Belize got its first Coast Guard. However, despite that investment, most of its fleet are supplied by the Colombians. Commander Borland? Ross Kemp, pleased to meet you.
Good to meet you, sir.
This is one of the boats that was confiscated off the Colombians, isn't it?
That's correct.
So, Commander, just how effective are these boats?
These boats are awesome. They give us very, very good performance. I mean, they came from 1,000 miles away, you know.
And how long would that take them in one run?
It takes 48 to 72 hours.
If the Mexican border isn't that much further north, why do traffickers come into Belize?
In the years gone by, we were so under-resourced with assets to police our seas. The Mexicans are right up there with a lot more resources than we have.
One of the sayings that we've heard is that there's a thing called the sea lotto.
It's a result of what the locals find floating after a delivery has been made and some stuff gets left over.
The only problem they have is getting rid of it afterwards. A lot of them get killed if they try and sell it onto the gangsters, don't they?
Well, that's what happens, you know, and that's what affects us back home. It's the stuff that gets left over and gets into the society and community and fuel the gang wars and, you know, the drug problem that we have here.
But it's not just boats that the drug runners leave behind.
So this aircraft landed on the Northern Highway about 2.5 months ago.
They've actually sealed off a public road and used it as a landing strip.
They got their own security out there. They cordoned off a part of the highway that was long enough and wide enough for this aircraft to land.
There's bullet holes in the windscreen up there.
Well, when the security forces arrived on the scene, they came in the fire and they returned fire. Actually, somebody got shot because there were traces of blood left in the cockpit.
How much cocaine could be actually transported in a plane like this?
This aircraft would take a ton of cocaine quite easily.
$50 million worth?
So
yeah, that's
a
what
ton,
it is.
maybe two.
The plane's worth what? I don't know.
The aircraft's not worth more than $1 million.
$1 million, so it's actually an acceptable loss again.
That's what it is.
It's not even close to $1 million, is it? Go back. Well, maybe.
So it's actually an acceptable loss again.
That's what it is.
With the Belize National Coast Guard, we're heading down the Belize River. About 4 or 5 miles' time, we'll get into open ocean, and then we'll head north, and they'll start boarding fishing vessels searching for cocaine.
Okay. That is Swedish. I mean,
I'm getting my car repaired right now. There's a mechanic.
Ma'am, no one cares.
We've just stopped this fishing vessel now. Not necessarily looking for cocaine, but you know, this boat has to have documents to say, hey, it's seaworthy. And obviously, ultimately, if people started throwing white packets over the boat when we first sighted it, they would have opened fire on it.
They would have opened fire on it?
These aren't the people that you'd normally expect to be trafficking thousands of kilos of cocaine.
Yeah, that's right. These aren't the drug runners from South America.
Yeah.
However, they could support the drug trade by providing fuel containers to them, local knowledge to them, and any other information that they may require.
I.e. where the reefs are, fuel, and also like knowledge about where you guys are, for instance.
I'm going to be 100% with you. I didn't know Belize was doing none of this. No cap. Never even. It should have crossed my mind because it makes sense, but I just never knew.
The Belize Coast Guard have 8 boats to create a deterrent. But with 14,000 square kilometres of ocean to cover, it's impossible to prevent drug traffickers from coming in by sea.
8 boats? That is not enough.
Right, we've just spotted a boat off to the starboard, yeah? And they're trying to catch up with it. We're going at a hell of a rate now, as you can see by the way I'm bouncing around. But it's quite an exciting game, this. I mean, they
Rose Kemp, the bobblehead.
boats, they try and cut them off, and the other boats try to outrun them. The boat that we've been chasing is heading into an island just to the front of us, and it's slowed down considerably. The boat that we were chasing earlier has actually arrived in what can only be described as paradise. It is actually registered to the British Army. They know the actual speedboat. The British Army still use Belize for training, and we've inadvertently ended up at one of their bases. Being on patrol with the Coast Guard has been exciting,
a waste of time,
but ultimately inconclusive. If I want to discover more about the gangs here, I have to head back onto the streets of Belize City. Our research has uncovered a character called Cobra, a veteran gangster and someone who has had direct contact with the Colombian drug traffickers.
So how dangerous is it, mate, living here where we are now?
Well, we have a lot of big guns in Belize. I've been shot by an AK.
Where'd they get you?
They caught me right here in my shoulder. You know, this one
I can
right
see
here.
it. Yeah, right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got off light
here.
It went straight through, huh?
Where were you actually when you got shot then?
I was trying to rob cocaine. I was trying to drop drugs, drop cocaine. You know, I went...
Oh, you tried to hit a lick and got popped. That's 7.62. Boy, hot, wasn't it?
One day to San Pedro because the Colombian guys, they came across the San
Colombians
Pedro.
were coming in with drugs,
yes. Yeah? And they wanted fuel for order to get to Mexico, so they offered us drugs for fuel.
You were hitting these Colombian guys and they came in their boats. How much were you really making?
Well, I wasn't working with them. I just went to do a fuel run for them. They wanted fuel, but we don't want to give them fuel. We wanted their drugs. We wanted money.
Well, how much would they offer you in terms of payment?
Like 2 kilos for maybe two drums of fuel, you know?
2 kilos?
Yeah, for just 2 drums of fuel.
Get the real value of booger sugar doesn't come until it hits the States. So out there it is much cheaper, but two
that's a lot of cocaine.
2 keys.
Yeah, because they have tons of cocaine. You know, they have big boats with a lot of drugs, you know. I see all of that, man. I want it all, but I just got 7 kilos, you know.
What happened to those guys?
They ended up running. I shot one of them in the belly.
All right.
Colostomy bag.
Cobra belongs to a gang called Posse in the Village, or PIV for short, but its street acronym is Professionals in Violence. The Belize gangs were originally affiliated to the Bloods and Crips. But since the introduction of huge amounts of cocaine, the dollar has more clout than any colour, and now every gang is a potential enemy. The spot where PIV hang out is on the border of their territory and has one of the highest murder rates in the city.
Man, look at my boy Rose kicking it.
The Crips, say, for instance, know that you're here. So it's a dangerous place to stand, isn't it?
In this night, it gets kind of dangerous. One day, they can't do what they want. There's too many faces seeing what they're doing, you know? One day, that guy stabbed me down, man, in my back with a screwdriver. That same guy right there in the red.
Which one?
That same guy in the red right there. He got a beef with me. He stabbed me in the back with a fucking screwdriver. Yeah. You don't want to come. Come over here, man. Come over here. Don't be doing that. Come over here. I want you to tell him about the old beef that me and you have when you stab me down with the screwdriver. I want him to talk about when they kick your teeth out, too. That he stabbed me and I never run. I end up getting it and stab him up like about 3 times. And we're still alive to talk about it. We're still friends.
Even though you try to kill each other, you're now good friends, yeah?
Yep. Bye. Talk about it. We're still friends.
Even though
Just a little casual bullet hole, you know.
you try to kill each other, you're now good friends, yeah?
Yep. Bye. Go up on the flip. Get down here then.
Yeah, they
Next
moving
time you're not going to
crazy.
stab me in my back, you're going to stab me in my choke. He's just talking, man, that guy. He likes to talk a lot. We don't deal with talking around here, you know.
The fact that yards, sometimes inches, separate opposing gangs means that violence and murder are common.
Stand on their side.
Tell him why you lose your job, man. You know why you lose your job? Tell him why you lose your job. Tell him why you lose your job. Because he was a dirty cop. He take away cocaine from bad guys like us, take away drugs, and he end up taking it for himself and selling it to the streets, to the street guys. We call him Eggy. You know, Eggy is a dirty cop.
Well, tell us.
Tell him about the story of being a cop and a dirty fucking cop. That's what you should tell him.
Why did you leave the police force then?
Why did I leave the police force?
You can't answer the question. Why did you leave the police force?
Trying to be all
He's
nice.
clearly unwilling to incriminate
You know what it
himself on
is.
camera. Cobra has the
Smart
scars to
guy.
back up his stories, but I have no way of knowing if his accusations are true or false. Belize City is a dangerous, weird, and unnerving place.
Nah, that's crazy. That's real wild. Right across the street, broad daylight from his ops. Like, don't let that be Chicago. They shooting broad daylight. That cannot happen.
With gang membership 5 times greater per person than that of LA, we have no trouble finding the gangs here.
What?
Than that of LA and unnerved. With gang membership 5 times greater per person than that of LA, we have no trouble finding the gangs here.
That's an insane stat.
While we've been here, we've seen lots of gangsters with guns, high-powered weapons. One of the gangs has told us to follow them. I have no idea where we're going, and we're going to have to turn the camera off before we get there. And they've promised to show us some of the serious hardware that's on the streets and some of the stuff that they use here in Belize City.
So in other words, they're going to show the blicks, the tools, the machines, the poles.
I have no idea where I actually been taken, and I can't tell you who's given this to me, but this is an example of the hardware that's on the streets of Belize. This is a NATO hand grenade, very similar probably to the one that was used lately in Belize.
Bro,
That will
like,
kill a lot of people, particularly if it's thrown into a
what? If that's the ceiling fan, by the way.
crowd against the
It's
wall.
hot in Florida.
The pellets ricochet off. It'll maim, it'll kill. In all my travels around the world, I have never seen a gang with this kind of hardware.
Nah, that's crazy. That one's crazy.
I'm amazed at how acute the problem is here, how many gangs there are, and how close the enemy's territories are to each other. People are literally confined to the few streets of their gang's hood, and the price for slipping out of that neighborhood could be death.
We've only been here a very short period of time. We've already met one gang. We've already gained access to another gang. Just goes to show how many active gangs there are here in Belize City. These lot are called the Dog Pound. They've agreed to talk to us.
The dog. These
Dog
face
Pound are
eaters.
aptly named because of their reputation for biting their enemies.
You okay? This is me, man.
Yes, man.
Have you lost a lot of boys?
We lost 13
Man, we lost a lot of
homeboys.
Sorry, one person, sorry, say that again.
We lost 13 homeboys in less than 2 years.
13 boys dead?
Yeah. All of them with some guns. And I ain't scared they kill one, I go take 2. They kill 2 of mine, I go take 3. Yo, my life ain't a gun, but fuck you. If you try to take me, I'll take you. I was born on this block and I'm die on this block. We made these guns we made.
Have a look. There's a pin on the inside there, yeah?
Yeah, there's a pin on the inside.
Yeah, you shove it up there.
Force.
What about the other gangs? Have they got
guns.
They got automatic weapons.
Inside.
Yeah, you shove it up there.
Look at the ingenuity. They said we can't buy no blicks. We finna go make some. What is that?
Force.
Look like it's gonna explode in your face.
What about the other gangs? Have they got
guns.
They got automatic weapons.
They got mad guns. We don't waste bullets. We don't come and boom, 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 boom.
Them.
We meet them 1-1 and we get rid of their fucking ass. Or bullet. Boom, 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 boom.
This Resident Evil dog. Look at y'all ain't hear that?
Guns. We don't waste bullets. We don't come and boom, 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 boom.
Them.
We meet them 1-1 and we get rid of their fucking ass.
Hot Rose ain't jump. I ain't look at him flinch or nothing. I would've. Who you do what?
Our bullets is 1 per each head. They come kill us, we go back and kill them back. If you disrespect my hood, violate my block, I'm coming for your bitch ass.
Right away.
I've seen niggas spread across their cars with gunshots in the head. All I could do is cry, go to the cemetery or what.
Dead already, man.
Who's responsible for that?
Jill Street gang.
George Street.
They
Man, George Street is the biggest gang, man. My homeboy don't like them, man.
I roll up
You
on
know,
them and
my
I
homeboy
squeeze.
cuss for me up, man, for my fucking rock, man. Nigga
And
like
we forgive, but we don't forget. And if I forget you today, remember, I will remember you 4 years from now. And if I meet you with my gun in my hand, you's a dead motherfucker. You was your bitch that you with. You dead.
You want customers from ads much cheaper in the...
All right. I can hear the struggle. I see the struggle on them. I believe them.
Giving a fuck.
Do you not worry that because of what you do that you could be killed?
God created me to live. I'm gonna live, and to tell you the truth, all the other youths in the world, I wouldn't want them to come like this. I know the way the world is running, and I know how we are going in my country, but come on, man. We can't get no sensible jobs or minimum wages, a little bit of fucking money. How the fuck can we live?
See, this is what I be talking about, man. This is the trenches. Like, a lot of people in the States oh man, I'm in the trenches, I'm in the trenches, No, this is the trenches. There's really no opportunity here. Not one. They live in a shack. They eat humans.
You right now would want to get out of this game. But I can't. Who will I turn to? My daughter is 3 years old. My son is 1 year old.
That's a responsibility, isn't it?
I gotta face that. Every day I come out, I think about my head getting shot open. I can't get out, man. This is my life. I was born here, I'm gonna die here.
I'm in Belize City, Central America, where the narcotics and guns smuggled through here by South American drug dealers have turned this small city into a battleground. I'm going back to see Corporal Longsworth to ask him about the link between the Colombian cartels, the Belize City gangs, and the amount of drugs that end up on the streets.
Can you tell me when, like, crack cocaine started coming into Belize City?
Good question.
Sometime around the late 80s, early 90s.
So what do these gangs do when they're given 2 kilos of cocaine? What do they do with it?
A kilo of cocaine in the Belize streets is an average of 10,000. But if you cooked it for a small distribution,
the key in Belize is 10K.
there's where it doubles or triples.
Yeah.
Tons of cocaine pass through Belize every year. 7% of it stays behind, and the majority of that gets turned into crack.
The major player goes and he has his lab where he cooks. They cooked it and distribute it to the gang members on the corners, and they sell it to the addicts.
Now, these major players, are we talking the leader of the street gang, or are there bigger people involved?
There are bigger people involved.
And these are people who have connections with the cartels?
With the cartels, and then they have connection with the gangs.
He was the boss of the George Street crew and the powerful player in Belize's underworld. He was enlisted by a corrupt Belizean government official working with Mexico's Juarez cartel to smuggle 12 tons of cocaine into the United States, assisted by, quote, armed members of the George Street crew.
He was a major player in the George Street. He would look right into our face and tell you he's untouchable. He told me that he's good for $30 million.
Yeah, $30 million in cash.
Yes.
The people making the real money from the drugs trade don't live in the same ghettos as the gangs. They live in the respectable parts of town and, for obvious reasons, are not keen to be filmed.
But Rose got it somehow.
Over the next few days, we managed to make contact with the leading figure of George Street, the most feared gang in Belize.
That boy
Jason
got it
Brown has considerable clout on the streets and is rumoured to be behind countless contract killings.
Said his whole name and everything.
I've arranged to meet him at a remote location outside of the city.
Gangster turned carpenter. What's going on?
We've been told that there are these Mr. Bigs that pass the orders down to the gangs.
Like me, I would be like their lieutenant. I get all the little soldiers that follow us to do the work. I'm going to get one salary, and all the guys that follow us, I got to take care of them. This is going to be my responsibility. I'm going to be driving past in my car tilted. You won't see me, but I see you. And I have the gunmen already waiting, you know. And I just give the call, move now. And within 15 minutes, they would be right up your ass and you would be dead. Because if you take a blood for them, they want it back by tomorrow, man. And they're gonna get it. And they have the potential to do it.
Why has George Street got such a reputation then?
We have witnesses who would be killed. If you're a witness, you say I could come 12 o'clock in the afternoon and shot this guy in the middle of his forehead and you're a witness.
I'm not saying anything.
You better not. You better not. Because if you do it, you, your family, and whoever follows.
Jason is a target himself and has had countless attempts made on his life.
The only thing I could have done was grab his gun. If I would have just stand there, he'd have hit me in the face. I made a couple of steps and I snatched the gun, and by the time I had my hand on the guns...
He pulled the trigger?
He just got frightened and he pulled the fucking trigger. No plane.
I'm surprised by Jason's honesty, and he openly admits to being responsible for some terrible and indiscriminate acts.
I was just about to say, they got your full first, last name, no mask. You giving grave details to a lot of stuff. That man's untouchable, he feels. Or he is, real life.
That he says he now regrets.
Twice.
Oh, okay.
I hurt a little kid. Twice I hurt little kids.
You did that by the order?
Yeah, the order that I gave. I hurt some kids, man. It's like I tell them, go hit that spot. They go hit the spot. Fuck when they left the spot. Kid is shot.
Innocent?
Innocently. You know, those things bother me, man. And I have my kids. I can ask God, where's my position in all this, you know? And I decide, like, fuck, I don't want this no more, man. No more. Because every day it's killing me. Every day. It's a lose-lose situation for me. Because I'm losing my homies, and I could probably end up losing my family, which is the most valuable thing to me, you know? So I think the best way for me now is to do positive. If I die trying positive, I might feel a little bit better in my heart, because then at least I was trying to change and trying to do good,
right.
You know?
As a positive step, Jason is teaching woodwork to young people who might otherwise be recruited into the gangs.
So he did change his life. He's ex.
He says that he's out of the gang, but he also admits that you can never really be out of the gang. And he says when he's here at this woodwork school, he feels a release, he feels safe, he feels free. He's free here, but as soon as he goes back to where he actually lives, it's like being incarcerated again. Anyway, he's agreed to take us there and to meet the meanest, nastiest gang in the whole of Belize City, and that's George Street.
It's beginning to get dark as we arrive in George Street.
Just about to say that. It's getting dark, Rose.
There are already a few gang members on the streets, and Jason introduces me to Baja, his cousin, and his most loyal soldier.
All right, this is my little corner right here. My homies, you know. But I hang all the way up to that other lane down yonder, you know. But I hang all the way up.
Boy, you frightened me. I didn't even see you right there, my boy. Camouflage, that's gotta work for your advantage.
Up to that other lane down yonder, you know. We control this whole neighborhood.
George Street, yeah?
Yeah, no boy should play in this neighborhood.
If someone came along and shot a member of George Street now, you would retaliate straight away.
We take on Goliath. We'll take him on.
All crew are not trying to gang up Crips Bloods, everyone. We don't give a fuck. We kill Crip Blood, anybody. And the person who I think will take my life mainly are the police, you understand me? Because me already did time for a police murder remanded. So I just have to watch my back from these cops, afraid they pick me up late night and no one don't see.
But you were saying, Patrick, if it does kick off, you're going to go straight, get your vest on, yeah?
Yeah, man, and I have to stay at my vest after that, you know, even if it's hot, if I sweat, I'd rather sweat than feel lead.
Rather sweat than feel lead?
Yeah,
Facts.
I'm really
But shoot, what I heard from the dog pound, they're not aiming at chests, they're aiming at heads. So
shocked by their casual attitude towards violence here.
other places, you can feel that the people that you're with have an agenda. They're killers. But with these guys, these are probably some of the worst killers I've ever met. And they just don't feel like that when you're with them. And you know, in the blinking of an eye, though, they could switch. Start pulling triggers and throwing hand grenades.
Throw that in there.
The next morning, Jason takes me to the other side of town to meet his family in a safe house.
Where did you sleep at? What do you mean the next morning? Where was you sleep at, bros?
Sometimes innocents get shot in the shootouts here, don't they?
Definitely. Kids get shot innocently, and the last time it was like probably about 10-year-old.
A 10-year-old?
10-year-old little boy.
Get killed?
Innocent. He didn't die. He got shot in the chest. Then the other guy, the 13-year-old, he can't walk good.
Is that a bullet hole there?
Yeah, we got a bullet hole right here. This was once when they came to kill me and some of my homies. You know?
Really?
Yeah. They came and bust about 15 shots.
You've got kids in this house as well?
Yeah, kids were in this house, definitely. They were lying on the bed.
And that round's gone straight through?
Straight through. The girl, when she came out and saw what happened, she cried. A couple months after someone died for the shit. Because you got to keep your standard up.
Jason still lives on George Street, but visits his 3 daughters as...
At least he got his kids up out of there. You feel me?
often as he can.
But this is my little queen right here. She always want to be with me, go with me everywhere I go. This is my big daughter. Big S, she's at college right now. You know, I love her too. And this is my medium daughter. She's 11. She's in school.
My medium daughter.
Primary school. They saw so many shit, man. I'm telling you.
Really?
They saw so many shits. One time I was with her, and a guy came with a big pump action. I tried to grab her, right, to let him not shoot me, you know, and I hold her like to say, fuck, he's not going to shoot me because I have my daughter.
I don't know how I feel about that. You grabbed your daughter so the man wouldn't shoot you. What if he was living that life, didn't care, shot both of y'all? Like, that's weird, isn't it? That's weird.
You know this asshole be pulling the trigger still? My daughter just bolt out my hands and ran up the street.
Do you remember that happening?
You remember when Angel coined the big gun? She remember it's not long ago. You know, like one time when...
She was, boy, don't hold me, I'm gone. It's your battle.
The homies got shot through the alley there. When I came here, they were crying like they can't take it anymore.
Do you worry about your dad?
This one was in the yard when the shot was firing. She was middle of the yard. That's why I know, you know, all of that, man. They could have cut my little daughter that night, man. This asshole just came and blazing. They weren't even looking to see her. Little did I know when I came around, my daughter was running around still screaming. You know, I didn't even know she was there, even, you know, if she was dead there, then I didn't even know I run left my daughter, but that's what I did.
Because of incidents like that, Jason, do you want to get out of it completely?
Definitely, man. For me, right, I would like to be in the park. I would like to be walking with my kids, holding hands, you know?
You really want to get out, but can you ever get out?
That's why I left where I was from, man. I couldn't take, man, listen, man. When you got kids, it's different, man. It's not just you worried about no more. Well, you can't go outside and walk down the street or take your daughter to the park. That's weird. That's crazy. That's weird. It's not weird. I mean, that's everyday life in Chicago, but it's just like, man, it's like, bro, there's other things in life, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now I could just walk down the street and take my daughter to the park. Gated community. Let's go jump in the pool. It's a great feeling.
I hope so, man.
You're shaking your head?
I would hope that, you know?
Well, you were shaking your head. Why were you shaking your head?
Do she talk?
You don't think Daddy can get out? Well, because people want to get him. Do you understand what danger Dad is in sometimes?
She in college. Yeah, she understands.
They worry you?
Does
it scare you? Do you think about it all the time?
I always tell them, you can't go with me, you're going to get shot up. Let your daddy die alone. You know? Let daddy die alone, I don't want, it's gonna hurt me more for any of them to die with me.
It was amazing seeing Jason with his kids. He clearly loves them dearly, and they're the most important thing in his life. That said, he also said that, you know, when shots came into the yard once, he ran away and left his toddler screaming. He also very honestly admitted to picking up one of his daughters and using her as a human shield when he was being shot.
Okay, so you caught that too, Mr. Kemp. Like that's not, that ain't no real. I can't salute that. I don't stand behind none of that. What do you mean you picked up your daughter? Like, bro, what are you talking about right now?
Shots at. For me, that's the hard thing about making these programs. I actually liked him. Against all that I've just said, I actually liked him as a human being. And that's a man that has ordered the deaths of numerous people. So I say that I like him as a human being, but I find what he does absolutely appalling.
There are many people in Belize who are trying to stop the escalation of gang violence. Douglas Hyde is an ex-gang member who now runs a project on the south side to stop young kids joining the gangs.
How dangerous is this for the kids?
This is one of the most dangerous areas in the city of Belize. Over the period of years, we have seen a lot of gang murders in this area.
Anyone who's ever seen a gun before, real gun, not toy.
What you're trying to do is dissuade these kids from joining these gangs, but how strong is the draw for them?
How many want to ever touch a gun?
Man, I feel like it's different out there, man, to have these type of things going on, these situations to sway kids away, but like you're trying to sway them away with education and doing other things, but there is no education. Like, all right.
For real? Wow.
With literally nothing.
We know the gangs recruit very early. A lot of the crimes that are committed by young kids between the age of 14 and 24.
Okay.
When committed
No,
by
that's
young kids.
tough. Hold on, go back. Shorty was really balling.
If you're running ads on TikTok, Facebook, Google ads, I'm about to prove to you that you're missing out on potentially...
I didn't ask you.
Ashley. Hi, sorry. What's happened?
Talking about Ashley. Don't worry, that's coming soon too. That's not what I was doing though.
Anyone who's ever seen a gun before.
How strong is the draw for them?
How many want to ever touch a gun? For real? Wow.
We know the gangs recruit very early. A lot of the crimes that
Now watch Shorty get busy. He for a tween cross, across the lane fade. Watch this, no shoes.
are committed by young kids between the age of 14
left
and 24.
hand.
When cocaine and crack came into our country, it escalated. It came with weapons, and almost everybody got a weapon. It get even more dangerous because our young people didn't see eye to eye. It was like limited tolerance. There was like a lot of ignorance. A lot of people were very impatient. And so it's like, to solve my problem, I take my gun out and shoot you.
Trying to tackle the gang problem head-on are the police.
They corrupt, they want to hear it.
With the city gripped by gang violence, early morning police raids are a regular occurrence.
As you can tell from my face, it's pretty early in the morning here. It's just gone 4 o'clock. Now we're on our way to a police station to observe and film a raid on a number of gang areas.
He be putting himself right in
This morning, there are simultaneous raids planned all over the city.
In the upcoming raid, do you see resistance being something very minimal or a high threat?
When going to this area, we need a larger group to contain the area quickly. Officers, you need to be careful because there are dogs in the yard. This house downstairs is where they meet and plan robberies, burglaries, and murders.
Getting loud, ain't it?
We just left the police station. The gangs unit and drug squad are up in front of us. It's now just about 5:30. One of the things that we were briefed on before we left the station was that a lot of times the local...
Yeah, definitely. I can hear that over my headphones now. So hold on. Probably gonna edit that out so you won't even see that. I don't even know why I even said anything. Just did it.
People in the community defend the gang from the police, and they'll come out and start hurling stones and sticks and bottles at the police because they see it as an affront to their community that the police could just walk in there and snatch people.
Police are struggling to gain entry, and the 6 dogs protecting the property are not helping.
Too late now.
Jump from my house and frighten me.
Who's this guy, Jim? This guy's one of the major players from the Victoria Street Bloods.
The police carry out a thorough search of the house for guns, drugs, and ammunition.
They bury them under the ground, in ceilings, in walls, under the floorings.
He's very upset, isn't he?
Yes, he's upset due to the fact that one of his sons was shot about over a year ago in the neck, and it caused him to be paralyzed.
Is his son there now?
Yes, his son who lives in the downstairs of the house.
Despite the surprise raid and a thorough search, they fail to find anything incriminating. The police leave, and we ask the family for their side of the story.
Mate, they found nothing there, yeah?
Thought that was 42 dubs. Yeah.
After a few words, we're invited in to meet the rest of the family.
The father said it's okay to meet the son that was shot. He was shot about a year ago. Hi, friend.
That's kind of awkward, isn't it?
Mate, we're basically a documentary crew from London. We make films around the world about gangs and about the trouble that exists, about the poverty, about how people have to live their lives. Can you talk to us about what happened to you?
Me? Yeah, I could tell him I'll leave something there. Nothing wrong with that. I got shot in my neck. In the neck.
No,
Yeah.
you get this operation.
And I fell to the ground and then I
That's
couldn't
what it
move.
mean?
I just tell her, better kill me. Okay, if you don't kill me, I come back for you.
We'll never live peaceful again. Never gonna live peaceful. Because he have a lot of friends and everybody is so hurt about it.
It's like jail. If I roll up on the street and they meet me, they want to kill me.
You go back on the street, they'll kill you.
I want to go to the river, go fishing like what I usually do. If I go to the river, go fishing, somebody will come right up to me and shot me on my head.
Just tell me how old you are now.
Me, I'm 23.
And what are you going to do now? What's the future for you now?
Future, well, if you tell her the truth, right? I really got nothing for though.
It's a bad get.
Yeah. Sometimes this pain with this game make me feel like I'm dead.
Yeah.
I have to live with that.
Is that always going to be? You're always going to have a catheter like that?
Well, I could take it out. I could use the bathroom, but I can't get up to go to the bathroom.
And they still want to kill you?
Yeah, they still want to kill me. But I can't get up.
Look at the ingenuity, once again. I'm not even being funny. Like, this is a lawn chair connected to, like a, I don't even know.
Up to go to the bathroom.
And they still want to kill you?
Yeah, they still want to kill me. They want to try anything for they. Yeah.
What would change that situation?
I don't know, the police can't do it.
Will you have to remove the people who are trying to kill you so in order for you to do that?
Exactly. I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to move them. Some other guys, I believe. You hurt me, I can.
Digital marketer, flooded by an...
Mr. Kemp, why would you suggest that to that man?
Your family, your ma, your pa, your dog, everything was dead. But me, I don't do it like that, man. The guy who shot me, I meet his sister once. I come and cut off his head if I'm one. You know, innocent people, you don't hurt people when I do nothing. Because if I want, right, if I really, really want, I could go buy some plastic explosive, and I could set it and blow up the whole block. You know?
He had a lot of time to think about his get back, man. It's good he ain't doing nothing, but like this Belize, they still out for you, man. They don't care. They don't care about your moral compass, man. And YouTube, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying.
You want to see the sword?
Yeah.
Right.
Like the bed sword?
Come in.
As the brothers lead me inside, I am totally unprepared for what I'm about to see.
Yeah, right.
1, 2, 3, yeah, here. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Okay, man.
You shot my foot.
Sorry, man. There you go. That's the sauce there. That's what rotted on you, yeah?
Yeah. I have another one about.
Oh, no.
I still try to get better. Yeah, I'm not Belize. I have to go outside for treatment, you know.
When you were in hospital, they should have kept turning your body.
I always need help, you know. I got no help. This is my word right here. I cried for 2 years.
Cry for 2 years, yeah?
Yep. No. I can't even feel pain. Can't cry no more. You know?
The fact that some people still want this young man killed and that he is so intent on taking revenge is proof of the unending cycle of violence and retribution that exists in Belize City. How you go about breaking this pattern?
Bro must have been a demon on the streets. They already put him in a wheelchair. It's not done yet.
Is hard for me to say. And is so often the case when making these programs, I leave with more questions than answers.
The one thing that's not in doubt, however, is the fact that hundreds of tons of cocaine moved through this very small country, and the payment for its safe transportation in guns and drugs has made Belize City one of the most dangerous, gang-ridden cities on the planet.
However, there is a new government here, and the people we've spoken to seem to believe it offers genuine hope. But with such a global demand for cocaine, unless there is some serious investment in the people and the infrastructure here, the traffickers will only get rich quicker, and the street gangsters will only die trying.
That's a great 50 Cent quote. Get rich or die trying. TLO, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. Let me know what you think, man. The most important thing you could do to support the channel is leave a like, man. Period. So if you haven't left a like and you watch this live, leave a like, man. Dang. I'm gone.